So you know how I might have mentioned previously that I have a certain set of rules that I stick to when I style outfits. Things like a uniform, a three-piece uniform, style words that I adhere to, that many people adhere to. Well, I've been thinking lately that we should be breaking some rules. I haven't done a video for a few weeks, and in those few weeks we've gotten into the thick, well not the thick, but a real good start to summer. We've had some real consistently hot days, and so I'm feeling the need for change, feeling the need for excitement, and wanting to have a good play, wanting to feel inspired by my wardrobe and my clothes. But I've been feeling the opposite. I figured that one of the reasons might be that I'm restricting myself too much. I'm also in the process of reading a really good book, The Creative Act by Rick Rubin, and I'm using that as a source of creativity for my business, for my reworked clothing design business. In listening to the audiobook, I've been applying some of the little nuggets of inspiration in the book to how I get dressed as well. One of the real standout things is to simply do the opposite of what you've done before if you're feeling stuck or you're looking for a bit of a creative break. So because I've been feeling stuck in my wardrobe, here we go. I decided to turn my fashion rules that I'd set for myself on their head and see if anything changed. The first thing that was important to do is to stop planning so restrictively. I've mentioned before that since the beginning of this year and trying to be more proactive and sort of compartmentalize the creativity needed to create outfits for the week and do that prior to the days so that I can maximize my time and not get stuck not knowing what to wear. I really was looking at the weather, what I'm doing that day, how far am I walking, am I getting on a train, what do I have to do, am I indoors, outdoors, gonna be hot, gonna be cold, all those things, comfortable footwear, what kind of bag, am I taking my iPad, am I not needing to take anything. I really was having to think about all these things, and it just felt quite restrictive. As soon as I opened up the flow and just went, you know, let me just pull some looks, let me not think about going anywhere and just put some pieces on a rail, we can deal with the fact of where we're going and put that practical aspect in there. It is very important. Things without context are quite ridiculous really, so it is very important to have that. But I thought, what if I just give myself the freedom to play? And in that way I've been seeing my pieces a little bit differently, and it has been a lot easier to create really cool looks. The second rule that I have been breaking is my three-piece uniform. I talk about this in the winter and I talk about this in the summer, but I like to be kind of covered up or have like a third piece, a third element in my outfit. That's a no-brainer for what that is in the winter. It's a jumper and a coat, or it's like a sweater and a blazer, jacket, whatever. But in the summer, last year I made a video about silk shirts and a tank top underneath, or wearing a cotton shirt with a layer underneath. You know, I just don't want to do that anymore. I realized that the three pieces was actually too much to think about. I also realized that the third element for the summer should really be the accumulation of accessories. There's so much more to play with in the summer that's not clothing based, i.e. fun handbags. Not really a handbags gal, but I have found some really great vintage pieces lately, so I will show you those. And there's more to play with in accessories, a necklace, an earring, sunglasses. And so do we need this extra element of clothing? I don't think so. Let me show you how this works. I've got three looks on the rail over here that I have styled to kind of illustrate my point here. I've dressed in this way today. I've just got two pieces on. So normally I would have put a white tank or something underneath the shirt. Instead, I've just popped the shirt on. This first look on the rack is the same idea, just a top and a bottom. There is not much to it. What definitely helps is having a little bit of structure to the look. So as you can see with the shorts, they're a tailored pair of shorts. And with the shirt, this is one of my shirts that I call the Weekender. It's been reworked. It's got some additional detail in it. With my look that I'm wearing today, I've got texture in the trousers against the cotton top. So there's some element of surprise. It's not cotton on cotton or denim on cotton, which feels very samey as well. There's a difference in the texture. There's a sheen to this. So just using two pieces, but still thinking, is there something interesting in there? What's really helping when sticking to just styling two pieces of clothing is I've altered one of my style words, which was effortless, to clean. I think clean to me encapsulates a little bit of effortlessness, because clean means easy, simplicity. It's kind of got that mood about it. So clean to me means effortless anyway, but having the idea of clean means I'm not putting too many elements on at once. This is a really fun look. I don't know if you remember Carrie Bradshaw on the beach in a pair of board shorts circa, I want to say season season 2 or 3, I can't really remember. You would think I would, the amount of times I have watched the box set. This pair of shorts, it's a men's pair of shorts. I've mostly seen this look on more youthful or edgy kind of fun maximalist dresses. Probably what I'm trying to say is Gen Z, but I've always wanted to do my spin on it, so this one's gonna be mine. I love it paired with the red. I always think a peachy or a pinky tone with a bright red is really, really fun. This one is really fun. I've done a bright pop of white, little denim Bermuda short. I'm popping it on with this fabulous vintage Versace top. This one is a cotton, but it's got a viscose blend in there and it's quite shiny. I don't know how it looks so liquid, but it's fabulous. I saw it online and I was like, I need to have this vintage men's shirt in my life. So I picked this one up and I think it's really going to be so fun to style this idea of a two-piece look in the summer because it's got so much interest to it. Same as like my sort of crinkly trouser here, it's all in the fabric. So the key to a lot of these looks is definitely going to be accessorizing and thinking about the shoe and the combination that I'm pulling together there. So with the first look, I am styling it with a simple black sandal. There's not much to say about it really, but I think what makes the look balanced is that I'm doing the black sandal and then I'm doing it with a white bag. So I'm not doing black bag, black sandal, letting the eyes settle on the whole instead of darting around to the bag and the shoe. Summer is the best time to accessorize with fun things and to bring in a little bit of your personality with things you own and love. I picked up this fabulous little necklace on my recent trip to South Africa. It's made by Zulu Beaders and I just think the work is so absolutely beautiful. I also love a statement pair of sunglasses. These ones have all the good shapes going on in them. Absolutely think they are just like an outfit maker. With the ball short look, I wanted to play with a nude sandal, so going in with a little flip-floppy guy there. And I'm mixing that with a necklace I kind of made myself. I found this pendant in the cabinet at my local charity shop, sterling silver and a little black onyx. And this is a pearl necklace that a friend actually gave me. It's a vintage one and she gave it to me for my 21st. All I've done is put those two pieces together and they've made one new necklace that I think is just great. I am then popping that in, if I can untangle this, adding in a very cool shape pair of sunnies too. The black sunny again, just to kind of balance that there's nothing really black in this look, so I think it can handle it. A vintage bag. This is kind of like my work bag. It fits my iPad so I can do some work on the go when I'm at my part-time job, but it's also just a really good bag if you want to bring some structure to a look. So because this look is quite playful with all the colors, I think it reads quite well with a more classic style handbag. I've accessorized also with a little scarf. If we are going to talk about Carrie Bradshaw and being inspired by her, I think it's fun to just throw some things at this look. The scarf my friend recently bought me back from Lisbon. She went on holiday and I am just chuffed to have it. I love having as many personal things as possible in my look. With the silver and the white, I think it needs something a little more modern. I'm keeping the shoe really, really simple with a jelly flip-flop, and then I'm going to pop on this earring that I'm wearing today. It's just a really nice sort of bold silver hoop, and I think the cleanliness of that, like I said, adding in that clean to my style words, I think that's really fun. Bags wise, this is the best. I recently found this Liz Claiborne vintage bag again at my local charity shop. I have a really good one down the road. Kind of lucky. If we ever move from here, hopefully the next place has the same. It's a really good shape. The hardware I think used to be gold, but it is now silver, and that's fine. Something that I actually prefer. It's tarnished a little bit, but not in a bad way. It still looks really fantastic. I love the little shape of it. I did have to fix the strap. It was a little bit long, so I kind of undid the lining on the inside, pulled it through, gave it a little rejig, and so now it kind of hits on the body just right. I think it's really modern. I think that the studs are very kind of on trend. You know, think awake mode, think, I don't know, any studded ballet flat on the high street right now. Studs are everywhere. They've really sort of infiltrated for the last few seasons, but this being a vintage piece and speaking to that is the exact right way to hop on a trend. I really love that I found this guy. A whole 13 pounds, you know, really breaking the bank there. As I always say, outfits without context are nothing. I post my outfits every day on Instagram, mostly because I said I was gonna from the beginning of the year, and I want to just experiment with having a full record of really seeing exactly how I wear my clothes, picking up patterns and just because I love to do this stuff. So I love making that daily record of everything I wear. And in the caption, I always write what I did that day. Just a few lines about what the outfit was for. Generally, it's work from home, it's running errands, it's drinks after work with friends, or it's going to my part-time job. That's very much my life in a nutshell. Knowing what my outfits are for keeps me really grounded and focused and stops me from way out imagining my fantasy self and feeling unhappy or like I need to get new things or I need things to be totally different and new. The only thing we need new is new ideas. We don't necessarily need new clothes, and we can find them in unexpected places. I didn't realize that a book I was listening to for the purposes of staying creative in my business was going to give me ideas for my wardrobe and change my outfit planning completely. So in doing the opposite, in breaking all the rules, I've really found a new love for my pieces and for dressing for the summer. That said, practicality does rule, and so if I needed to be a little bit warmer, if one of the days this week is not going to be as hot as I expect it to be, I am going to look at the weather and I'm going to make some changes. I definitely think that this first look would be great with a black pair of trousers, the black shoe on the bottom, the black trousers, the black sunnies. I think all of that would still work and be super nice in a high contrast with the white bag. In the same way, I feel like if I had to pop on a denim skirt or a pair of jeans with this top and the tan sandal, I think that would be a really fabulous look. So there's lots of ways that I could absolutely update these pieces and completely change the look if I need an extra bit of warmth. There's room to play. I've already got that structure, so making those changes is not essentially gonna like break my whole week apart. I think summer is the time to be a bit more free with our style, so I don't think it's any surprise that I felt the need to break my own rules that I set for myself, having a good old play and just coming up with a thought process that might inspire you to see the same old things in new ways. That's really exciting. Anything on your mind that you might be doing differently for the summer? I'd love to know. Pop a comment below and we'll chat.